Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really wild question, something straight out of science fiction, really. Can we control gravity? I mean, imagine just flipping a switch. You're walking around 1 second, floating the next, and then boom, gravity's back.
Yeah, it sounds completely fantastical, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But if we could, it changes everything. Space travel, maybe even living off planet.
Exactly. And today we're diving into the sources you've shared to see, well, how far are we from making that sci-fi dream a reality?
It's fascinating because gravity feels so different from
Yeah.
other forces, I mean. We know how to make electricity, right? Magnets, we get those. But gravity just sort of is.
Is there,
Yeah.
keeping us grounded, keeping the moon looping around us, the Earth around the sun.
Right. We can't seem to, turn it on or off at the source, which leads to the big question for you, the listener. If we can't make it, can we maybe fake it or bend it somehow?
Okay, so faking it. Astronauts float, right. But that's microgravity, weightlessness. That's not making gravity.
No, exactly. Microgravity is like constantly falling, just sideways fast enough that you miss the Earth.
So what's the closest we've actually come to creating that feeling, like properly simulating it?
The most realistic idea we have is what's called artificial gravity. And you've probably seen it. Think of those big spinning rings in space stations and movies.
Ah, right. Like in 2001, A Space Odyssey, that giant wheel.
Precisely. As the station spins, everything inside gets pushed towards the outer wall. That force, the centrifugal force, it presses on your feet. And it feels remarkably like gravity. It's an illusion, sure, created by motion, but it tricks your body.
A clever engineering trick, then. Not really messing with gravity itself, but making something feel like it.
Exactly. And it's actually really important for long space trips. Astronauts lose muscle, bone density.
Yeah, that's a huge problem for, say, a trip to Mars.
This artificial gravity could potentially solve that. But like you said, it's not a real gravity switch. It's not controlling the fundamental force.
So if we want to talk about actually controlling gravity, where do we even start? That sounds like rewriting physics.
Well, that's pretty much it. You have to go to Einstein.
Yeah.
His theory of general relativity totally flipped our view of gravity. He showed it's not just some mysterious pull. It's the shape of space and time itself being warped.
Warped. How so?
Think of space-time like a stretched rubber sheet or a trampoline. Put something heavy on it, like a planet, a bowling ball.
Okay.
It makes a dip, right? A curve in the sheet. Now, if you roll a marble nearby, it doesn't get pulled by the ball. It just follows the curve. It rolls into the dip.
So gravity is the curve. It's the geometry.
That's the idea. So controlling gravity means, well, it means figuring out how to make our own curves or dips in space-time, on demand.
Wow. Okay, that's a massive leap. How on earth could we even imagine doing that? What are scientists thinking?
It definitely gets into some pretty extreme physics. People talk about things like exotic matter or maybe negative energy.
Exact matter sounds exotic.
It is. It's hypothetical stuff with weird properties, like maybe negative mass. Theoretically, that could warp space-time the other way, push things away instead of pulling them in.
Repulsive gravity. Okay.
Yeah.
And negative energy.
Similar concept, potentially creating regions of space-time that sort of push outwards. It's all highly theoretical, mind you. Deep, deep theory.
Right. And I seem to recall some buzz, maybe back in the 90s, about experiments with superconductors. Did that go anywhere?
Ah, yes, the Podkletnov experiments. That was fascinating for a while. He claimed that spinning superconductors, these materials cooled way down, could slightly shield or reduce gravity above them.
Really? Like a mini anti-gravity effect?
That was the claim. The idea was maybe these extreme conditions, the cold, the spin, the magnetic fields were somehow interacting with the gravitational field. But, and this is the big but, nobody else could reliably replicate his results.
Ah. And reproducibility is key in science.
Absolutely. So while it was intriguing, it didn't really pan out into a proven way to control gravity. It remains sort of a footnote, an interesting claim.
Okay. So superconductors maybe aren't the answer, at least not yet. But our understanding of gravity is getting better, right? Like with things like LIGO.
Definitely. LIGO, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, is huge. It's not about controlling gravity, but it's letting us listen to it. When massive things like black holes collide, they send out ripples in space-time itself. Gravitational waves.
Ripples in the trampoline sheet.
Exactly. And LIGO can detect these incredibly faint ripples. It's direct proof of Einstein's predictions, and it gives us amazing data about how space-time behaves under extreme conditions.
So understanding the fundamentals better, which I guess, you need to do before you can even think about manipulating it.
Precisely. You have to understand the rules before you can figure out how to bend them.
Okay, so this deep dive shows it's a massive challenge, maybe one of the biggest in physics, but let's connect it back. Why should you, listening now, care about this really far-out idea?
Because if we ever manage it, even a little bit, it's a total game changer for humanity's future in space. Think about that Mars trip again. Astronauts arrive weak, needing recovery. What if they could just have, say, Mars gravity or even Earth gravity turned on inside their ship?
That would make long journeys feasible, safer.
Completely.
Yeah.
Health, comfort, maybe even building actual colonies, places where people could live long-term, maybe even raise families under something like normal gravity.
And maybe even gravity shields, protecting against radiation out there.
That's another potential application people dream about. Look, it could be the key technology that unlocks deep space for us, makes us truly multiplanetary, which might be vital for our long-term survival, you know?
It really shifts the perspective. So, the bottom line for today. Can we control gravity?
The short answer is no, not yet.
Not yet.
But think about it this way. Just over a century ago, people would have said humans flying was impossible. Pure fantasy.
And now we complain about airport delays.
Exactly. History is full of things that seemed impossible until someone figured them out. Controlling gravity, whether it's clever engineering like artificial gravity or truly manipulating space-time, it might just be the next frontier where science fiction starts looking like science fact.
And if that happens, the universe suddenly feels a lot closer, doesn't it? A
Yeah.
place not just to look at, but a place maybe you could actually go. Something to think about.